Welcome to Rev Up Your Potential with Hilda Gann, the stories about entrepreneurs, business leaders, and HR professionals and their successes and struggles along their journey. In this podcast, we also discuss the HR challenges that people face and the tips and strategies that have helped them. If you love to learn through storytelling, join us. Hilda Gann, rev up your potential. Welcome to another episode. Today, my guest is Valeri Hall Little, and she is a certified business coach and the founder of Built To SOAR. I love the name. And what she does is she helps successful yet overwhelmed entrepreneurs find that balance of learning how to earn more, but loving the business and balancing it with their life. Thank you, Valeri. Welcome.
Thanks for having me here today, Hilda.
Can you tell us a little bit more? But I want to share too that Valeri is very successful, and she's actually been featured in CBC Radio, Time Magazine, and the Huffington Post. So we are delighted to have you here to share your knowledge and to share your journey along the way. So tell us a little bit more about Built to SOAR.
Well, Built to SOAR is a business coaching community, really. And what I love about it is that it really draws in entrepreneurs who are established, who have achieved success, who have lots of clients, who are so excited about the future, yet something is missing in all that scaling that is happening. They feel that they've lost something of themselves in the growth. And I found that myself, and I find that in a lot of my clients, is that, we get so focused on the growth that we forget about our passion, our purpose, and our brilliance, which is what allowed the business to actually thrive in the first place. And when that light gets dimmed, business starts to feel like a chore, feels like hard work, feels like something you're not excited to be in every day. And so I really help business owners reconnect with that passion, that spark, that joy of running their incredible business.
And one of the things I find is that, some business coaches really say, I can help you get to six figures. I can help you build revenue. And for me, that's not the reason for being, right? For me, it's my passion, my purpose is to help other companies really build the best version of themselves. And so I remember having a coach, and she said, the other people are about building their revenue, but you're not in it for that, are you, Hilda? I says, no, you're absolutely right. And that's what I love about you is that, yes, you help us build our business, and Valeri is my coach right now. You help us build our business, but you also help us find that right balance. And for me, self-care is an important thing because it's something I don't do well. And so that's my focus. That's my tip to scale is focus more on building that self-care, Hilda. Focus more on that. So share with us, you use these words, brilliance, you use the shine, use the passion. Tell us more about that, and maybe in relationship to your journey. Because I know when I first met you, because I remember saying, I know that person. And when I first met you, we were doing a presentation for the WPO. And you were doing ninja coach, like ninja workshops. So I think you can start there because that was your passion back then.
It absolutely was. And I loved that. And prior to that, and you have such a good memory, Hilda. When we first met and you mentioned that, it's like, yeah, okay, that sounds familiar. And then boom, it just clicked. So thank you for for reminding me of that. And that piece, when I was doing that consulting work, was really a step on my journey to where I am now. Prior to that, I had a very successful web consulting business, and I was so passionate about websites. Anyone had to mention their website, and I just lit up. I was like, let's get it in there. Let's make it better. Let's design something that just is incredible. and I had lots and lots of clients. So much so that I was caught in the busyness, right? I was serving my clients, which is what I want to do, but my head was down all the time, and my business was not getting any of my focus, any of my attention. And because I was just caught in the doing, right? And then I had a health issue that required me to have bed rest for 6 weeks. And when do we ever, right, Hilda? When do we ever get 6 weeks to forced? Like,
Well,
this isn't
I
an
think
option.
maternity leave was 6 weeks, but it was a different
Right?
kind of.
Exactly. There was still something, some little thing there wanting you, right? But at this point, it was all about rest. And it was not, not optional. And so what I found was that that was my space. That was my stillness to actually raise my head from the doing and doing in my business and working with my clients to really thinking about my business. And what I realized was that I didn't love it anymore. And that showed me something so very important, that we can burn out of our brilliance. And our brilliance is our gift, it's our craft, it's what we love to do. And I never thought that was possible. But that really illuminated something for me, that can happen. It could happen to me, it could happen to anyone. And maybe, someone listening and or watching today is reminding them of something that is missing in their work. And so what happened was, after I sort of realized that and felt really lonely and hollow. Hollow was so much the feeling that it just felt like something was gone, and it was gone. The spark was gone. So after the 6 weeks, when I did return to my business, it didn't feel the same anymore. There was just a shift, and that led to my journey into productivity coaching, and then now into actual business
And
coaching.
the productivity coaching was the ninja. Like, I
That
forgot
was
what you
the
called it.
yes,
Ninja.
yes,
So that
that's
people
right.
know why I was saying ninja.
That's right. It was like, yes, exactly. I worked for an organization who did productivity consulting and training. And then that led me more towards working with the actual person and overcoming any kind of blocks that might be coming up in terms of feeling really good as they're working. Because we spend a lot of our energy and our time, as you know, Hilda, in our businesses, right? And if we're not feeling engaged and connected and excited and purposeful about it, it's it just, like, as you were saying earlier, the balance is lost. Like, there isn't the balance of the passion and the needs of the business.
And I've always said, whether it's a career or as an entrepreneur, love what you do and love where you work, or where what you're owning, because it is about passion. And if you don't have that, it's like being disengaged. It just takes so much longer to do things. I'm still trying to process this idea of, you love this so much, and until you took that break, you didn't realize that you didn't love it anymore. And when did that lack of passion happen? And now I'm thinking, okay, do I still love it? Like, I'm trying to think, I do, but what if I take a break, which I will be doing next year, and I find out, and I'm thinking, I don't love this. Like, how did you kind of, in hindsight, think that, I guess I hadn't been loving it for some time and I didn't know it. Like, or did it just creep up and or pop up on you?
It crept up. I had absolutely no idea, because I was caught in the busyness. And
Mhm.
busyness is uh, such an insidious, sneaky little thing that has been brought into the mainstream and almost as a badge of honor. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. Look at me. I'm important. I have value. I have worth because I'm busy. And what I realized was that the busyness was making me feel important, but my purpose wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
It got smothered by the busyness. And why that happened, I believe now looking back and after working with so many clients on this very thing, is that we are always doing. We are not being. And that is so incredibly important. If you're not connected to who you're being in your business, how you're showing up in your business, and I don't mean, all the glitz and glamour part of it,
Mhm.
but who you are, who you truly are in your business, and that your business is an extension of you, or your profession, your career is an extension of you. If that being gets diminished by the busyness and the doing, then it is really easy to be lost. It is easy to lose that passion. And that's what happened to me. It just snuck up on me. And that's why I say to so many people, do less, be more.
I love that.
Be
Do
more.
less, be more. So cool. So cool.
Yeah.
You use a lot of light vocabulary, illumination, brilliance. It, did that come with your journey as you moved on? Because you're using a lot of these beautiful words. And my company's name is People Bright, right? And I
Oh,
have the
yes. Yes.
illumination package and the brilliance. So share more about the use of light vocabulary.
Yeah. Well, it is about light. It's about light in terms of brilliance, and it's also about lightness of load, lightness of what you're carrying, whether it's all the to-dos or any kind of heaviness in your life that you might be bringing, because we are human, not superheroes, right? So we bring our life into our work. That's just the way it is. And so it's about the lightness of your brilliance, your passion, your craft, your genius. And it's also about the load that you're carrying. Because in my business, Built to SOAR, it's impossible to soar if you feel like you have cement blocks around your ankles.
And
Or as many of
light
my
as a
clients
feather
say,
if you soar,
yes,
right?
exactly, exactly. I love that, Hilda. Yeah, it's or like what they often say, I feel like I'm walking through mud
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get to where I want to go. And so it's about also shedding some light on what is actually going on. And that's hard to do when you're so caught up in the busy.
So we talked about your original SEO website passion, and then you went on to productivity, and I learned a lot of tips on how to be more effective through your productivity workshop that I attended back then. Now it's Built to Soar. So how did you transition from these two to Built to Soar?
Mhm. Great question. So I loved productivity and I loved training people. What I found, however, was that I could do all the training and give all the tips and tricks. And it's like, yes, do this, do this. However, when people got back into the busy, they just defaulted back to the way it was. And it was really, really difficult to build that habit and build that muscle when the actual issue wasn't that. So we never got to the root, the seed of that in terms
Mhm.
of that one to one. So I wanted to go deeper with my clients. And I think the productivity training is wonderful when
Mhm.
you're at that point to receive it. However, many people were not at that point. Many people, we have to back up a few steps and really get to the essence of what is going on and why are you feeling like you're not able to achieve what you want to achieve, or why are you procrastinating? Procrastination is a symptom of something else. Procrastination in and of itself is not actually a thing, it's a
Right, right.
symptom,
Yeah.
right? And so a lot of the times when you're feeling that way, we have to go back up and dig a little bit deeper, and then we can move forward. So I always say, slow down before you can soar. We got to get still. We have to really dig in deeper.
I think, the good thing about coaching, and I highly recommend it for people, is it gives you a time to stop and to pause and to reflect, because through that you grow. I remember pre-computers. pre-phones that had your computer on it. I would be in the dentist's office with my children, or a doctor's office, and waiting for 2 hours, or not that long, but waiting for some time. And that's when I would stop and I would strategically, think about, where am I going? What am I doing? What do I need to do? And we don't get that much anymore because we're so busy working and going on the computer. We don't pause to listen to ourselves, to think about where we want to go and grow. And I find a coach often helps you take that time to reflect and to see it from a third party's eyes. Because
Mhm.
when I'm too knee deep in what I'm doing, and I can't see it as objectively as a person who's listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely, Hilda. When I look back to when I did burn out of my web business, I didn't have a coach. Coaching wasn't really a big thing then. It wasn't mainstream. And I believe if I did have a coach, that this may never have happened. I may have been able to keep that passion alive, because the coach would have helped guide me and really uncovered some things that were going on.
Mhm.
And so I really do believe in the power of coaching, which is why I stepped away from the consulting and moved into the coaching, because they're very different things.
Mhm.
Consultants will tell you what to do, and a coach believes firmly, what's inside. I will help guide you in that right path. And sometimes I put consulting on and give some ideas. And as you know, Hilda, we get a little bit of guidance in that way. But a lot of the times it's about helping you uncover what's inside of you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why coaching, and why business coaching? Like, you could have chosen anything else, or you could have gone back to, you might have found your passion again for the websites. What made you
Yeah.
specifically move in this direction?
In terms of business coaching, I love businesses. I've been a business owner for more than 20 years. And I love the freedom, the flexibility, the creativity that is allowed in your own business. It is your baby to just bring up the way you want to bring it up. And so what I believed, and when I look back, even in when I was doing websites, what I loved was making things easy. So I did a lot in content and navigation and usability of websites. And what I loved was, how can we make this easy for somebody moving through the website? Let's make it easy. And then when I moved into productivity, is how can we make work feel easier? And now moving into coaching, business coaching, it's like, how can we make your business feel easy and effortless and a joy to run? Right.
So
And
this
so
is the
it's the
core passion.
relation,
This is the core
the
passion
core
right throughout.
passion. That's right. The core passion has remained. It's just evolving, right? It has evolved. And so I just believe, and I always have, if let's let things be easy, because when they are easy, we love doing them. If work feels hard and a chore, it just nobody wants to do it. It's easy to burn out of that, even if we love what we're doing, if it feels really hard. And what I've also learned over the 20 years of being a business owner is that there's some key shifts that we can do. And and again, putting ourselves at the center of our business, because often we put our clients at the center of the business and we think that's how we're supposed to be. Clients in the center, and making the revenue that will keep the engine running. And that might be a great model for some people, absolutely. If that's not your model, then you're my people. You're the people that will be drawn to my way of business coaching, which is about, let's look at you, how you're showing up, how you're feeling in your business, because you are the center. If you aren't working at your best and feeling your best, the business will be reflected in the business. Whether or not you have a big team or whatever it is, however your business is working, you have to feel really good in your business. Because
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't, then why are you doing it?
I had a situation not too long ago where we were working out a training program, and then the client said, and this is Thursday, can you do it next Monday? And I thought, yeah, I could, I can make it happen because we're always trying to please our clients. And I thought, but that would just take so much out of me. I'd just be focusing on it all. So I could do it, but no, I'm not going to do it. That's just not reasonable in terms of producing a great product and still balancing my self-care, right? So I learned to say no, and we found 1 week later, I got one week's reprieve on doing that, and I just felt better. E I mean, you talk so much about balance and support, and I love what you do to help people really find that balance for them. Uh, do you want to go into any other tips and strategies that you have for people who are successful, but you want to help them with overwhelm?
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's so many of us out there, right? There's so many of us out there feeling overwhelmed and overworked and really out of balance
Mhm.
with our business and our life and trying to, navigate our way through this. We've been through as humans, we've been through an incredible few years, and still, more coming. So it's really about that's why I developed the SOAR cycle, and the SOAR cycle stands for getting still. So that's the first thing I invite people to do is, and we talked about this, Hilda, getting still, just pausing, getting some quiet, getting yourself rebalanced, really checking in with yourself. How many of us have time to feel that we have time to check in with ourselves? And we actually do. We do have time if we make that a priority. So really get still and then optimize, right? How can we optimize, ensure that our business is working well, right? Are things running well? Are we being as efficient as we can? Do we have the support that we need to show up at our best? Whether that's in life or business, right? We need those support circles around us. And then really aligning. Let's align and make sure that our vision, our values, our mission are still aligned with the business. And there's many ways that I work with my clients that we can ensure that that is still happening. And then finally, release, right? Let's release the holding. We are holding so much as business owners, right? We are just holding all the time. So, what can we release? What mindset beliefs, some limiting beliefs, some procrastination habits, some habits that aren't serving us, maybe some clients that aren't serving us anymore? What are some things that we can release so that we create more space to actually receive? And it's simple 4 steps. And I call it a cycle on purpose because it follows our natural cycle of an evolving entrepreneur. And we are all evolving. So we'll start again at still, but we'll come with a different frame of mind, a different frame of reference, because we're not the same person we were 12 months ago when we did it at the first time. So these are some things that really are important. And if you just follow this cycle, you are going to evolve. Your business is going to feel easy. You're going to feel anchored and centered running it, and happier and healthier, and achieve that balance.
One So as you're talking about the SOAR cycle, there's something that you offer on Fridays, and this is complimentary for anybody. I it is on my calendar, and I try, unless I have a client that I need to be supporting, I try to get to it. And you started off by getting us to be silent, and I
Mhm.
look forward to. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I really,
Yeah.
it is for me the way to end the week and to think about what's happened and to move forward and to release whatever tension I had from the week. So share from your perspective, because I've shared from my perspective what SOAR means, like that week. You call it power hour or whatever, what it
Yes.
means to me. But share with those listeners.
Yeah, and I love how you described it, Hilda, because it's exactly like a condensed version of the source cycle. So this is something that I started. During the pandemic, during lockdown, and this was a very inspirational hit that I had. And I usually am a little bit more thoughtful, and I have to, think about things and what will it look like. And this, I just, boom, it was like, I had the idea, probably because we were all forced to be into a
Yeah.
state
Yeah.
of still. So I had the idea and I implemented it that week. So what it is, it's an hour. It's called the Power Hour. And it's really about exactly what you said, Hilda, wrapping up your week, but wrapping it up powerfully and purposefully and thoughtfully. Because as business owners, again, we're so caught in this busy that we just get on with it. And oh, thank God it's Friday, right? And that feeling, we think that's release. And that is a form of release. But what this does is it allows bringing together people who are feeling that way, who want to wrap up their week a little more purposefully and powerfully. And so we start with getting in stillness, so really clearing and centering, just getting quiet and allowing ourselves to be really present. And then we move into celebrations. And that's a huge piece of it because we're all just on to the next thing, right? You check it off your list and boom, you're into the next. And when do we get a chance to celebrate, whether you're in a business or running one of your own? We just sort of like on to the next thing. What else do I need to do? And this allows you to really stop and think, you know what? I achieved a lot this week. I did some really great work this week. I
Yeah, it
did
makes
some
you
really
feel
great
good.
things in my life.
Makes you
Pat
feel good.
yourself on the back. Yeah. And because we're in community, there's other business owners and people who are in corporate who are there. Everyone's celebrating together. And you can feel, right, Hilda? You can feel the energy just rise
Yeah.
in the celebrations. And so we do that. And then we set our intentions for the next week. And that's just really thinking about what's coming up in next week and really what is a gentle nudge you can give yourself right now to your future self to keep you on track and keep you centered and balanced in that week. Then we give gratitude, we have reflections, we have conversations, and then we wrap up again with the clearing and centering. And then off we go for our amazing rest of the day and weekend.
For me, it's almost like it's like a stress reliever. It's like giving gratitude, as you say, and it makes me feel relieved for whatever stress, and makes me feel positive because I've thought about the celebrations and stuff, and I've made it a habit of putting my intentions on a piece of paper, and it's on my computer. Be in the flow and let the good things happen. That is my intention
Yeah,
for this week. So I'm just
I
pacing
remember.
myself nicely this week and just letting things come. And there are good things that have come. So it's really, really good. And I wanted to share that with those who are listening, because it really is. It gives me a routine, but it gives me a routine in a really great way. So I'm going to welcome people to join Valerie, and she'll tell us how
Yes.
we can connect with her later. But I think it's a great
Yeah.
thing. It's a great thing.
Thank you. Yeah, it was wonderful having you there, Hilda.
Um, if you had to give somebody a piece of advice, um, as they're growing their business, what would that be?
That's a great question. I think it would be really, really believing in progress, not perfection. Because so many of us will use perfectionism to hide behind it, right? Or to stall out. And if we can just always know that just baby steps, just take one step. What's one small thing that you can do? One small and mighty step, which I love that term, small and mighty, that you can do to move you towards having the success, whatever that looks like for you. And that often means putting that fear that you might be having, putting it aside. Fear is going to be with us, but we can move through it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, right? Just making progress, celebrating, cheering yourself on. I think another important thing, I know you asked just one, but
You're allowed. You're allowed.
I'm allowed. Thanks, Hilda. Is
Is
that
what?
we are not lone wolves out there. We do not have to be alone, right? You are always in choice. And I say that to my clients, Hilda, all the time. You are always in choice. You get to choose. If you choose to go it alone and not have support around you, that is your choice and we honor it. But you don't have to be alone. There is a way to come in, and the power hour is just one indication of that, how we crave it. The pandemic shows us how much community is so supportive and so central. And so that has really opened up in my own business as well. I have a group program, and then I also have the power hour, which is free to anybody. The power hour is let's come together, because we can grow better, we can be stronger, knowing that we're not alone in our journey. And that is so very important, whether it's a coach, a mastermind, a group program, coming to the power hour, whatever that looks like for you, is you don't have to do this alone.
To me, as a person, community is important because you're right. You can't do it alone. And if you do, it can be lonely, and you would take longer to learn stuff when you're doing it by yourself than when you're doing a community. And I think I was very fortunate during COVID to actually belong to 3 communities. Those 3 communities helped me feel I was continuing to build my business, build in the sense of COVID, and not to feel alone and to feel supported, because those
Yeah.
were difficult times. And I don't know how I did it, because every 2 weeks I had one of those communities meeting, but in essence, I kind of needed that sense of community.
Yeah.
When you're thinking back on your career, what would that legacy that you wanted to create be?
Wow, that is an amazing question. Um, my legacy in terms of the business is really fulfilling that mission of helping overwhelmed business owners um, to not burn out of the thing that they loved, right? Like that's what I want. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is because I know what it feels like
Yeah,
to
you've
burn
been
out.
there.
And
You've been there.
it's something I would not wish on anyone. And um and so I want to always allow business owners to know there is another way, a better way of being in their business. And when we can embrace that, we can ensure that the business thrives, that the business owner thrives, and then the impact that comes out of all that thrives as well. Because we are all here to make an impact and to spread that impact in the world. And if we burn out of that, the impact is extinguished. And that's not what I want for anyone, and especially in this world we live in. So that's my legacy, is really allowing people to stay connected to their brilliance, love what they do, feel good running their business, and feel supported every step of the way.
I just feel your passion when you talk about this, and understanding that this comes from that essence of overwhelm, of keeping things simple, and how you've always wanted to do this, and now you're finding a passion from evolution. You had a
Yeah.
passion for websites, but now you have this passion to help others build that business, to keep it simplify things, and you still are using all these light adjectives and nouns, the extinguishing and the brilliance again. So thank you so much for shedding light and helping give us the hope as we build our business. I really appreciate you being here. What's up next for you? Is there anything you want to share? What's coming up for you, your
Yeah.
business?
Well, I'm really excited about the year to come. The group program that I run, that you are part of, is evolving as well. So I'm excited to be launching that in January. Um, and But a really great thing to to join in on is the Power Hour. I invite everyone to come to it. It's you just go to builttosoar.com and you'll see it's in a pop up. You can join that way. And it's very free. It's very casual. And, we've had people show up in pajamas or hair in a towel. You can keep your camera off if you want. It's totally, totally casual. What binds us all together is our love for our business and wanting to be our best in it. So I'd invite everyone to come to that. Just go to built2soar.com and you can sign up, get your journal sheet, and get the Zoom link.
What I find really interesting, Valerie, is that oftentimes there's a theme. Like that week, everybody feels stressed, or that week, everybody has these huge successes. And I think, what is out there in the universe that gives us all this
Yes.
kind of a similar experience, obviously on an individual level, but this generic sadness or overwhelm or happiness or whatever. I just find
Yes.
that kind of really interesting. So you
Yes.
really are not alone. When we think we're
No.
alone, we really are not. Our colleagues are probably experiencing the same kind of similar experiences.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I've really appreciated our talk. How do people get a hold of you?
The best way is go to built2soar.com,
Mhm.
and all my social media links are there, and all the information of what's coming up in the business, because I have an annual planning party coming up and I've got webinars and all sorts of things. But that's the hub, that's the central point
Okay.
where people can reach me. I'm on LinkedIn the most, so I would love to connect with anyone on LinkedIn as well.
Well, thank you for that open invitation for people. You have been so helpful in sharing your journey, your burnout, your epiphany that made you realize where you want to go. I'm so happy that you found your passion now of helping business entrepreneurs build, a company and yet still find that balance and that passion. So thank you for joining me today, Valerie. Really appreciate that.
Thanks so much, Hilda. It was such a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. And thanks to those of you who have listened or have seen us on YouTube today. Really appreciate it. If you liked what you heard, loved what you heard, give it a thumbs up or comment in the section. And if you want to hear more about interesting entrepreneurs, HR professionals, and business leaders, follow us, subscribe. Thank you very much and have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to Rev Up Your Potential with Hilda Gann. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube and Spotify to stay up to date on our latest episodes. For HR tips, news, and strategies, or if you're interested in being a guest on our podcast, visit our website at peoplebrightconsulting.com.